Hello there. Today we have Cuong Do, the president and CEO of BioVie, trading on the Nasdaq under the ticker symbol BIVI. Cuong, thanks for being with us.
Craig, thank you so much for having me back. It's a pleasure to be here.
You've now reported top-line data from your phase 2 Parkinson's study. For investors who may not have read every detail of the release, what would you say are the biggest takeaway from the trial?
From the trial, we found that patients treated with our drug candidate Bezisterim demonstrated statistically significant improvements compared to placebo on both motor and non-motor symptoms, as assessed by a variety of endpoints, including the Unified Parkinson's Disease Rating Scale, parts 1, 2, and 3, as well as a composite endpoint comprising 15 clinically relevant measures. We also found that 25% of Bezisterim treated patients meaningfully improved compared to only 4% of placebo patients. On the other hand, only 14% of Bezisterim treated patients meaningfully worsened compared to 46% of placebo patients. We also looked at biomarkers that are indicators of neurodegenerations in this trial, and we found that patients treated with Bezisterim experienced a slower increase of these neurodegenerative biomarkers compared to those treated with placebo. I believe taken holistically, these findings are really significant and important and could potentially change the way the Parkinson's treatment will be done in the future.
One of the themes that investors have heard from BioVie is the connection between inflammation, insulin resistance, and neurodegeneration, Kong. How did the clinical results reinforce that scientific hypothesis?
I believe that the trial results did show that Bezisterim infected inflammation. We looked at dozens and dozens of biomarkers of inflammation, and we saw that patients treated with Bezisterim consistently experienced an advantage compared to those on placebo. We also conducted a detailed study of 380 different proteins in the body and found that roughly 75% of those proteins shifted in a direction that has been shown to suggest slowing of disease progression. So big deals.
Now that the Parkinson's data are public, Kong, what are the next key milestones? Are discussions with regulators, potential partners, or future trial planning, any of that already underway?
Well, we have a lot on our plates right now. First of all, we still have a long COVID trial underway that is coming to an end. So we need to complete that trial and hopefully report top line data after Labor Day. On the Parkinson's front, we need to plan for an end of phase 2 meeting with the FDA. We also need to start planning the phase 3 potentially pivotal registrational trial for Parkinson's. And we have a ton of data, frankly, that we're just now only beginning to analyze, right? We have just touched the surface of what we've seen so far. So our challenge is to continue analyzing the data and preparing presentations for conferences and submitting for publications to scientific journals. And of course, there will be the opportunity to reactivate potential partnering conversations with various companies that we've talked to in the past.
Parkinson's, it affects millions of people worldwide, yet treatment options remain limited. If Bezisterim ultimately succeeds in later stage development, how large could the commercial opportunity become?
We believe that the trial gives us optimism that Bezisterim could eventually become the first therapy to address both motor and non-motor symptoms of Parkinson's. It could be the first therapy to slow the progression of the disease, and it could become the first new approach to treating Parkinson's since levodopa was introduced over 5 decades ago. If we can demonstrate all of this, I believe this would represent a dramatic change in the way the Parkinson's patients are treated. And this could equate to a $3 to $5 billion annual sales opportunity in the US alone.
Kong, one aspect that makes BioVie unique is that you're pursuing multiple indications with the same underlying mechanism. Why do you believe targeting chronic inflammation could have broad therapeutic applications beyond Parkinson's?
We believe that inflammation is the starting point for many things to go wrong in the body, and TNF-alpha is considered to be the master regulator of inflammation. And since bezisterim is believed to modulate the production of TNF-alpha, and therefore modulating and reversing insulin resistance, we believe its potential therapeutic impact could be quite far ranging. And we're looking forward to exploring all those different indications in future years.
Looking ahead, Kong, another catalyst investors are watching is your long COVID program. Can you tell us what makes long COVID an attractive indication for Bezisterim and what investors should be watching for later this year?
There are 17 to 18 million adults in the US who suffer from long COVID symptoms of brain fog, fatigue, and post exertional malaise. 3 million have it so badly that they've had to quit or change their job simply because they can no longer keep up with the physical demands of the job. And over the past few years, researchers have tied those long COVID symptoms to inflammation that works through exactly the same mechanism that Bezisterim affects. So, as a result of that, we received a $13 million grant that we used to enroll a trial with 200 patients, right, that we hope will show Bezisterim's potential impact from long COVID. That trial is fully enrolled at this point, and the last patient is expected to come into Yale this week for his or her last visit. And if that keeps on track, that would allow us to target reporting of the top line data readout after Labor Day.
And finally, Kong, please give us the essential value proposition. Why should investors take an interest in BioVie right now?
We are a tiny, small biotech company with an unusually robust pipeline. We just reported on our Parkinson's clinical trial. This result gives us optimism that bezisterim could eventually provide a completely new therapeutic approach for Parkinson's that could address both motor and non-motor symptoms and could potentially slow the progression of the disease. With a long COVID trial that will hopefully read out within 30 days or so. And I do not believe our share price reflect the full value of this. And I say that not because I'm the CEO of the company. I'm one of the largest shareholders of the company. So the value proposition is really track what we do. We have near-term catalysts, and I believe those catalysts will lead to a share price appreciation for our shareholders.
Kong, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, Craig, for having me back. It's always a pleasure to be here, and especially now to report the result of our Parkinson's trial.